Welcome back. This is Arunava Chaudhuri, and this is my YouTube channel, Arunfoot, and it's another Indian football Q&A. And today, you don't really see my face, but the face of my very, very good friend, Hiren, or you know him better as Curious Harry. But let's see how the conversation goes. Maybe it becomes Curious Harry in the conversation, Hiren. Thank you for joining in. मैं तो मुंबई
Always
में
pleasure,
हूँ
sir.
and
Huh.
been in Delhi now here. We'll head a little later to the Mumbai football arena for the game. Hiren, तुमको कैसा लग रहा है? How's the scene? How's the Josh?
जोश तो सर जोश के बारे में बात करेंगे जैसे एज यू नो कि चांसेस आर हायर की टू गेट अ फ्यूरियस बट आई थिंक एट द मोमेंट तो सिनेरियो इज लुकिंग लाइक आई थिंक होपलेस ऑनेस्टली स्पीकिंग द वे थिंग्स आर गोइंग ऑन in every front. So that's the scene. I want to know from you because recently, as you said, ki you have been in Delhi and now in Mumbai. Tomorrow or a day after you are going Kolkata also. So you are speaking with the people who are involved in the Indian football. So what do you get to know about know from them? What is the scene with the Indian football in AIFF in ISL overall?
See, Hiren, situation as it stands, that it is at the moment, I think is very, very worrying to say the least. You said it as well. Na? A lot
Mm.
of bad news coming out, a lot of problems, issues, and to me, I spoke to a lot of people who were involved also in ISL in 2014 who have left Indian football, who do other things or do certain people do grassroots
Mm.
and uh, yesterday evening there was a conversation happening where we said we were very lucky to be involved in the ISL in 2014 jab start hua the na
Mm.
then it was a
Mm.
different scenario, it was a different day and age. And if I look at things now, one has to be very, very worried. The AFF is an own thing. I think the biggest problem is that, one has to be careful what is real news, what is planted news, what is, put out into the media. You know, that's the first problem we have in the ISL. The problem we saw yesterday, once again, Owen Coyle's behavior, which according to me is just unacceptable. For me, that is, Robin is a very, very good, expert and analyst of the game, but he didn't want to really have another go at Owen Coyle like he did a few weeks ago. And I think that is one thing which I realize also. There's a lack of respect towards the referees. I saw that also in that match Punjab FC against Jamshedpur FC a few days ago live at the stadium. And I feel that those are so basic problems where I feel that a lot of people think of themselves of being more important than than Indian football overall, and that to me is the biggest worry. Where are we going? That's my
Mm.
simple question to a lot of people in different positions across the board. And I think there's no clarity, and there's news coming out, acha, baat ho raha hai, ye ho raha hai, wo ho raha hai. And then, talk to people, say, no, there's no conversation happening, right?
Mm.
So then you ask the question is, what are we talking about? So to me, that is the biggest problem in my opinion. And, it doesn't matter. It is that way it is. And, you and I have spoken about it. I think there are very few people who speak about it truthfully, honestly. And to me, that is a very, very important thing that we also are living in La La Land in a lot of places. And that people think that they know what is happening or how to do things. And in my opinion, my humble opinion, a lot of these people don't have a clue what they're doing at the moment, and that is my biggest concern. I addressed yesterday at the Global Institute of Sports Business (GISB) some students, and I was very, very clear. It's like, use your mind, use your brain. If you're working in sports, do that. And that is, to me, I think, the most important learnings of the last few days, that Indian football is in I think in the biggest crisis since I have been involved in Indian football, and a lot of people don't want to accept it, or a lot of people don't want to believe it. And a word I know that I have loved to say 2 years ago when we started doing our lives together with Rahul and with Akshata. We're living in La La Land.
Hmm. But why don't these people want to address the shortcomings of the Indian football? Why they?
Because
Because
they're
at the
happy.
moment, just
Be- Because Hiren, these people are happy with what they have.
I mean, so
Professionalism
they are.
professionalism
Hmm,
would remove a lot of people. I mean, if I take, for example, Murali's question to look at it, do you think Indian football is in ICU current stage? We're trying to rise up but falling back, and sportsmen say top 50. Nice dialogue. uh, um, yeah, again, as I said, I think we've had this conversation here in where I think Indian football ICU mein hai, yeah, if someone has given Indian football a heavy dose of sleeping pills, I mean, it is in a very, very bad state, and people are not willing to accept that. We are in a
hmm.
very, very tricky situation. Where does the future go? The AIFF doesn't know what it is doing. Sorry to say that very, very
What
clearly.
is the future planning? Hmm.
Future planning is the president secure in his seat? Are people are getting rid of him? People are, is that true? Some people say yes. 20 states say, someone said, "Are 24 states are coming together to work." And when you talk to states, no, I've given no commitment to anyone. So therefore,
Hmm.
that is one. ISL, we don't know. Is there a future of the ISL? Will the ISL shut down in the summer? That is a possibility. I think nobody's discussing it. The clubs are doing whatever they think is right. They only care about themselves, and then the referees are to be blamed, and this and that and everything. The players also, they're. I felt it the other day in Delhi. There is no connect really between the players and the fans anymore. They care about themselves. Only a few senior players who've always been that way are that way. So this is very disturbing, very, very disturbing.
And
And yeah.
आई थिंक सर मेरे को जो लगता है जो डेफिनेटली देर आर हमने काफी सारी चीजों के बारे में पहले भी बात की है बट आई थिंक एक जो बड़ा प्रॉब्लम मेरे को लगता है कि देर इज ए नो कोहेजन कोऑर्डिनेशन बिटवीन दी की स्टेक होल्डर्स जैसे आपने जो सारे अभी प्रॉब्लम बताए उसमें एआईएफएफ है आईएसएल क्लब्स है प्लेयर्स है कोचेस है रेफरिंग ये सारी चीजों के बारे में यहाँ पे कोई कोहेसिव या फिर कोऑर्डिनेशन के साथ काम नहीं होता मतलब हर कोई जैसे एआईएफएफ अपनी तरफ से तरीके से चीजें चला रहा है ऐसे ही कि हियर एंड देयर चीजें ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहा है आईएसएल क्लब्स दे आर बिजी इन देयर ओन सेल्फ्स यहाँ पे एफएसडीएल अपनी तरफ से चीजें चला रहा है ऐसे ही तो आई थिंक वो आपको लगता है कि जो की स्टेक होल्डर से दे आर नॉट ऑन द सेम बोर्ड और यू कैन से कि इन सेम लेवल की जहाँ पे एटलीस्ट डिस्कशन तो पहले होना चाहिए बिकॉज विथाउट डिस्कशन आप कैसे यहाँ पे चीजें आगे लेके जाना चाहोगे
Hiren, there is no conversation happening, na. I
हाँ
think that is the
एग्जैक्टली
biggest problem, na. So if you at least have a conversation happening, that to, you can think about things. There is no conversation happening. Let me take a few more comments. Murali says, "Do you have a problem politician holding state FA or other position to think intention matters of leadership?" Murali, to me it doesn't matter who is in what position. If he or she does the right thing for Indian football, I am fine. It can be a politician, it can be a businessman, it can be a bureaucrat, it can be an ex sports person. But my learning is at the moment, if I look at Indian football, it doesn't matter if it's a you need, listen, the problem is in an Indian ecosystem as it exists at the moment, you need a politician to be involved in some sort of form way. If you need to deal with government at national level or at state level, you will need some political backing. Otherwise, kuch nahi hoga. If you're a businessman, they will then try to take money from you. This is the reality. This is the sad reality.
एंड आई थिंक इंटेंशन तो होना ही चाहिए दैट्स द फर्स्ट यू कैन से कि थिंग टू बी इन दैट पोजीशन एंड देन डेफिनेटली जो सर ने जैसे बोला कि अगर आपके पास सिर्फ इंटेंशन होगा तब भी काम नहीं बनेगा यू हैव दैट कनेक्शन दैट पावर कि आप चीजें यहाँ पे अरेंज कर पाए देन वी कैन एक्सपेक्ट समथिंग आइदर इट बी इन स्टेट एफेयर्स और इन एएफएफ और इवन इन एट द क्लब लेवल व्हेन विच एवर पोजीशन आई थिंक ये चीजें
वही तो है ना.
होनी चाहिए
And then if respect ke bare mein na, Paula mentioning again on call Harris Robinson yesterday, unacceptable. Owen Coyle
what
could
will be
be
the
a young
punishment
coach
sir
or a coach. Again, you might not be on this, you might not have the same opinion. Let's be honest.
Hmm.
You can have difference
Hmm.
of opinions. Sab har samay ho sakta hai.
Hmm.
But to me, the question is that you have to give that little bit of respect. I think Robin was being respectful to Owen Coyle because he did not want to expose him for a second time
Hmm.
after one another and saying, "Excuse me, it was a red card." Because the other day he said, "Yeah, it was also, you know." So
Hmm.
that is the problem, is that if you want respect shown to you, you should also show respect to the other person. And that is something I think which Owen Coyle has lost the plot yesterday, especially. And if Owen Coyle is a gentleman, Owen Coyle at some stage would call up Robin Singh and say, Robin, I sorry, I overstepped, and ask for a public apology. That would be class. I don't know if he's going to do it, but if he has class, Owen Coyle would say sorry to Robin. Listen, I overstepped. I shouldn't have done it. Bas khatam ho gaya. Put it to bed.
Hmm.
Go on. It's like the thing with Noah Sadui and with
Adrian Luna.
Adrian Luna, right? Now you
Hmm.
can have that kind of a situation on the pitch. It shouldn't happen. It happened. But it shows that there are cracks in the Kerala Blasters dressing room. Otherwise, this something like this doesn't happen. And then they're trying to sort of, sugarcoat it and say, "Arey ye wo wo." Listen,
सर सम नहीं आई थिंक मैंने इसके रिगार्डिंग वीडियो डाला तो सम पीपल आर मतलब सम फैंस ऑफ केरला ब्लास्टर वांट टू जस्टिफाई इट विद द some people are say taking the side of Adrian Luna, some are taking the side of Noha ki he is selfie wo selfish hai, and some people are trying to justify it with the goal difference ki they want to improve their GD, so that's why that fourth goal situation and that anger came from the Adrian Luna, but it doesn't matter. You are in a
Exactly. But Riren, exactly that is the point. It doesn't matter. I think it's not a matter of taking sides for this player, that player.
hmm,
He is selfish, or he's a superstar, he's a captain, this and that. It doesn't matter. It has happened. It should not happen.
happen. Yes,
Aaron Luna said
exactly.
one thing. I will talk to him in a dressing room. I don't know if they talked to each other or it got heated. The one person I have to compliment in this situation, because otherwise there would have been a fight, is Ishan
Hmm.
Pandita.
Pandita,
Ishan did
yes.
the right
Hmm.
thing.
Hmm.
Ishan stepped in, did the right thing, stepped in and said, "Guys, not happening, should not be happening." And I have to give Ishan, who has not played for a long, long time, but again, very well done, Ishan Pandita, that you stepped in, because otherwise you don't know what could have happened between the two, because they were so
Hmm.
charged up in that situation. I hit you, you hit me, and then we don't, that's that's a
Hmm.
big problem. But again, it happens. It shouldn't happen. It happens. And yeah, and that's the thing. And Murali says, if you wanted to blame and accountable, who will you make, leadership or coach, player? Murali, the whole system.
Hmm.
Don't I will in the current scenario. I don't know, Hiren, how you see it. I don't single anybody out. AIFF, listen, yes, but it is not the AIFF alone. It
Hmm.
is the state affairs, the clubs, academies, coaches, players, media, fans, all of us.
Hence, everyone. Hmm.
All of us. The problem for us is that we live in, again, I love to use it, La La Land,
Hmm.
thinking Indian football, eh, wo hai. And it's not just an Indian football problem. I'm realizing it because, again, I'm in India due to a project I'm doing for German handball. Very interesting what I've been able to find out. But if I talk about other sports, Indian football is not alone, because outside of cricket, every sport is bleeding.
Hmm.
The media numbers are not good, right? But people are pumping in money. The question is, do you pump in money at the top end and try to create that league, or do you pump in money at the grassroots? And that is, again, we've had this conversation a lot of times.
But-
The
hmm.
problem is, to me, that we need to now find means and ways of how to create something with which we can really, really grow. I think that's my concern, that we're not getting where we need to, and that is a challenge. And yeah, it makes it very, very difficult. And hi, Dark Knight, hi, Rushabh. And any advice you would give to Indian Football Academy? Morally, I don't want to go and give advice or gyan on this or that or everything. I think generally we need to ask ourselves the question: what kind of talent are we producing? I said yesterday, also in front of the students, I said, listen, young kids who are playing in academy say, I want to be Ronaldo, I want to be Messi, I want to be Mbappe, Vinny, or whatever, right?
Hmm.
But they can't get to the level of a Sunil or a Baichung, right?
Hmm.
Forget I am Vision. I am Vision is a God gifted talent. I said yesterday to someone, I said, listen, if someone is so talented, if we had a Lamine Yamal, if you had a Lionel Messi out there, with despite all the problems of the system, if the player is that good, someone would have recognized his or her talent, that
Hmm.
player would come through the system. So we don't have that players. I said yesterday also to someone, listen, the last big talent that I've seen, hopefully I will see him tonight, is Lalinzwala Chante. If I like it or
Hmm.
not, ये तो मेरे के लिए reality है Eden. That is what hurts.
Hmm.
You know, That is what really hurts. And any instance that our Lala Land has been destroyed, Murali, our Lala Land is still alive. That's the most important thing, right? I mean, you say Indian
Hmm.
football is in ventilators. Saurabh says Indian football is in ICU. Um, Darknath saying Indian football going back to Stone Age. All of you are right. My
Hmm.
concern is that all the development that was there 10 years ago, I spoke to someone today, we're tweaking, is saying, listen, the broadcast is one big positive, in my opinion, that I've seen. One big, with all the things that are happening. But broadcasting is one thing when I say Star and now Sports 18 over the last 1.5 years have done a very, very good job, in my opinion. The question is,
Hmm.
how can you prove the rest? Because I saw the other day Punjab FC versus Jamshedpur FC. You watch it live, and then I watch the highlights. The highlight looks tik tak. You watched it
Hmm.
live. Listen, I was in an ideal case scenario, I should have been sleeping for half an hour in the first half. It was that bad, right? Right? The only player who I said on that field I loved to watch was Javi Hernandez because of his abilities, of his football intelligence.
Hmm.
It ain't basics. Supposedly,
Exactly.
young teenage player being targeted by Mohun Bagan, bhai, doesn't know where to stand, what to do. So kya bolo
Hmm.
usko? We have a lack of
Maybe
talent. I was speaking to a coach the other day saying, listen, under 17 is so bad. He's saying it's so bad. I said, yeah, I've seen
I,
it.
wa-
I said
I,
it, 1.5 years ago
hmm.
when they came to, I saw them in Stuttgart. I said that. This is the
Hmm.
worst that I've seen of an Indian under 17 team, and now it's even worse. How? I don't find a logic. If you have a logic or anyone listening has a logic, how can it be with all the academies, all grassroots, war, right? Age cheating,
Hmm.
so let's put on top of that, right? We're not
Hmm.
under 17, under 20, under 25,
Huh.
huh?
Huh.
Right?
Hmm.
How can we be so bad? That is my concern. So then your first question is coaching. Our coaching system, our coaching licenses system is not good enough.
Hmm.
Right? There are people who say, "Are coaching to reduce the cost." No, increase the cost. Do
Hmm.
quality checks. Our
Hmm.
biggest problem is coaching.
मैं सर
I said to a player who's retired, who's
hmm.
now a coach, I said, Bhai, I think it's time for you to come out of retirement. I know you're close to 50, but I think it's time to come out of retirement. You're better than these kids. That is my concern.
मैं आरएफडीएल का मैच देख रहा था आप अब देखिए देयर इज ए नो होप फ्रॉम देयर आल्सो आई आल्सो वाचिंग कपल ऑफ स्टेट लीग्स यूथ मैचेस वो भी मतलब आप देखिए कि और आप अब जब बाकी कंट्रीज के साथ क्योंकि आप इंडियन इंडियन यूथ फुटबॉल के मैचेस देखते हो एंड बाकी कंट्रीज के साथ जब आप कंपेयर करते हो उसको देन यू गेट आइडिया कि भाई उनके जो यंगर प्लेयर्स है व्हाट दे हैज एज अ प्लेयर इंटेलिजेंस और यू कैन से कि मैच अंडरस्टैंडिंग सिचुएशन को किस तरह से वो अंडरस्टैंड करते हैं व्हाट आर देयर डिसीजन मेकिंग पासिंग मैं इसीलिए जब अभी रिसेंटली इंडिया अंडर 20 के मैं लाइव वो मैचेस का कर रहा था तो मैं फैंस को वही बोल रहा था कि इन मैचेस में आपको ये नहीं देखना है कि आपकी टीम कितने गोल यहाँ पे खा रही है या फिर रिजल्ट क्या है सी योर प्लेयर्स फर्स्ट टच क्या उसकी पासिंग रेंज है क्या किस तरह से शॉट लेता है वो सिचुएशन में किस तरह से जब दो तीन प्लेयर उसको प्रेसिंग करते हैं क्लोज डाउन करते हैं व्हाट इज हिज डिसीजन मेकिंग हाउ ही कंट्रोल द बॉल कैसे उसकी मूवमेंट है ये सारी चीजें हमें फोकस करते हैं देन यू गेट आइडिया कि भाई दिस आर द प्लेयर व्हेन दे प्ले इन द आईएसएल और मे बी नेशनल टीम यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट समथिंग कि हाँ भाई ये हमें यहाँ पे इंडियन फुटबॉल को आगे लेके जाएंगे कि जब जहाँ पे अभी हम खड़े हैं वहीं पे लेके वहीं पे रहेंगे सो आई थिंक एज यू राइटली सेड कि जो कोचिंग का यहाँ पे जो सिस्टम है आई थिंक उसके बारे में ज्यादा बात नहीं होती है बट आई थिंक उसका जो क्राइटेरिया है एज यू कैन सी आई थिंक एएफएफ डी लाइसेंस तो सर कोई भी यहाँ पे विदाउट डूइंग आल्सो मेरे को लगता है मिल जाता है आई डोंट थिंक सी इसकी उसमें कोई ऐसा
It's
यहाँ पे
yesterday we're having a conversation. D and C तुमको ऐसे ही मिल जाता है.
मिल जाता है हाँ
B, depending on if you've got contacts, you will be pushed through B. हाँ?
हम्म
A भी
हम्म
हो रहा है. A and Pro में तुम्हारा problem हो सकता है.
हम्म
But my question is, what is the level of coaching at grassroots and youth football?
हम्म
And I'm not talking from some obscure village wala NGO जो coaching कर रहा है. No. What are
एकेडमीज
the
टॉप
ISL
एकेडमीज
teams? What are the I League teams doing? What are these so-called football academies who say, अरे मैं हम तो ये किया वो किया? What are you guys doing? Right?
एंड सर मेरे
Every stakeholder needs to question him or herself on that, in my opinion.
And
What are
I
you
don't
doing?
understand नहीं I don't understand सर कि ये जो लोग जो ये आईएसएल के क्लब्स है जिनकी यूथ फुटबॉल में एकेडमीज है, या फिर आई लीग या फिर बाकी जो एकेडमीज है, if they are not producing that level talent, why they are not bringing a good foreign coaches at the moment?
Because good foreign coaches are costly. And again, to me, that is the thing, no?
But
You know?
if sir, that is costly, then when you play a good quality player, there are chances maybe you can go outside and you can uh, generate a revenue model also in future.
वो तो नहीं होगा ना. But
या फिर आईएसएल में भी
and
अगर
this
आप
is
प्लेयर सप्लाई करोगे
and
क्वालिटी प्लेयर्स.
and this here Hiren, this is a good question in that to link to it. Do you think we never treated properly Constantine and Nicola Adam because during their tenure Indian football rise? Do you think these coaches underrated? 100%.
True.
That is a problem, no? And then
Hmm.
Mr. Steamer does his own hype and this and that and everything. And look at what Manolo said. Manolo said a lot of right things in that TOI interview, right? But the
Yes.
point is, you're saying the right things, you know. And but the point is, what are you doing with the national team? Who are you going to call up? You know.
Hmm.
And I'm seeing that some of these Indian boys who've come back to India are set to leave India, right? Sun Kumar is going back to Slovenia. I congratulate him for that decision.
हाँ, good decision, right
Very,
decision.
very good decision. For me, it is a wise decision from the young boy,
Hmm.
right? Hearing Jay Gupta end of the season might go back to Spain. Brilliant. Do it. Work
Hmm.
on yourself. But that's the thing, na. So Guardiola has a, I think, thank you for the 40 rupees. A fun question. Who's the best number 11 of ISL? Sunil Chetri or East Bengal? Hiren?
Good banter.
Huh?
Uh, at the moment
Or
तो
do
सुनील छेत्री.
or do we want to add who is the best number 11 of ISL and I League? Then so we take it to the next level, na? Ah.
Uh,
You see,
but at the moment तो सुनील छेत्री.
from a sporting perspective, surely Sunil. Huge
Hmm.
respect to Sunil, to what Sunil is playing at the moment. But BFC is not good enough, and I mean I've heard from BFC now. We played well, Mohun Bagan this and that everything. But yeah, what does count? Playing good or winning?
Hmm.
If that is your logic, then to मैं बोलता हूँ Mumbai City should be top three or maybe top.
Hmm. Hmm.
अच्छा तो खेला, but then didn't win or lost, right? So that
Hmm.
logic to me doesn't apply. So therefore, Sunil, yes, but Sunil and Ryan Williams to me at the moment stand out at BFC, and the rest
Hmm.
at the moment is not playing as good as at the start of the season. Huh?
Hmm.
Murali adds first step in Indian football is solve structure issue, then talk about player development or having proper development. Forget it. Murali, yeah, in an ideal case scenario, na? So
Hmm.
our problem is um, what you say very logical, but the problem is structure issue. Who's going to solve that?
Hmm. बात
That
ही
is
नहीं
my
होती
concern.
पहले तो यही बात नहीं होती कि देयर इज अ स्ट्रक्चर इश्यू. ये तो पहले एक्सेप्टेंस होना चाहिए ना स्टेक होल्डर्स के बीच में कि हाँ वी हैव अ स्ट्रक्चर इशू, वी सो नीड टू सॉर्ट आउट, वी हैव अ शेड्यूल इशू एंड ऑल ऑफ दिस थिंग्स. जब इसको पहले आप एक्सेप्ट करोगे देन यू कैन डिस्कस अबाउट इट कि भाई हाँ व्हाट आर द सॉल्यूशन, पॉसिबल सॉल्यूशन, then we can see the things. But I think मेरे को लगता है स्ट्रक्चर से भी ज्यादा, जैसे as you said sir कि when there is a talent you will find it, तो I think मेरे को लगता है कि ज्यादा मतलब फर्स्ट स्टेप जो मैं as per my understanding
Hmm.
is the better coaches at the grassroots level. I think अगर आपको सिखाने वाले अच्छे मिल जाएंगे then I think अभी भी जो स्ट्रक्चर है उसमें से भी मतलब मैं नहीं बोलूंगा कि वर्ल्ड क्लास टैलेंट निकलेगा, लेकिन इससे तो बेटर टैलेंट निकल ही जाएगा. जो अभी जो जो टूटा फूटा हमारे पास जो भी स्ट्रक्चर है.
हिरेन मेरा क्वेश्चन तो एक ही है ना. एक ही सवाल है टू यूज द प्रॉपर हिंदी वर्ड राइट.
हम्म.
How can we be worse than everybody else who we play?
हम्म.
Everybody.
ट्रू.
Even in Nepal or Bangladesh are technically better than us. It's illogical. It cannot be. And everybody speaks to says, yes, you are right. You're very, very right what you're saying. Yeah? That is the reality of Indian
बट
football.
बट
So,
बट
so
what
Amit, आप क्या कर रहे हो? What are you guys doing? You're talking, you're criticizing the referees. You're doing this, but what about the players? And also each individual player, and that is a Murali's next question is linked to it. Do you think when player perform poor, do you think we have to blame ecosystem because player is byproduct of structure. Murali,
Hmm.
100% you have to blame the ecosystem. But you have to also, I think now we need to start also blaming the players and say, Bhai logo, you have
Hmm.
to take care of yourself and try to improve. And a lot of players don't know how good or how bad they are. Some of them
But
think they
it's
can play top tier in Europe.
यूरोप एंड एग्जैक्टली सर उसमें मेंटालिटी की जो बात है आई थिंक वो जो अरमादो सादिकू का इंटरव्यू था जिसके ऊपर ज्यादा बातचीत लोगों ने की नहीं बट ही एक्सपोज द इंडियन प्लेयर्स दिस सिनारियो कि भाई इंडियन प्लेयर का वो नहीं है मोटिवेशन अपने आप को प्रूव करने का चाहे भले ही उसने नेशनल टीम के सिनारियो पर्सपेक्टिव से बोला हो बट ही क्लियरली सेड दैट कि भाई उनका भाई ठीक है अपना आईएसएल में खेलो मिल रहा है बढ़िया सा सैलरी दैट्स इट वो जो हंगरनेस वो जो डिजायर देखना चाहिए वो नहीं दिख रहा है उनसे एंड आई वांट टू नो सर कि what is the response from these clubs academies people की क्यों आप टैलेंट प्रोड्यूस नहीं कर पा रहे what are their excuses
They go quiet.
okay
They go quiet. That is the reality. And do we have to focus on foundation for upcoming next decade because we struggle a lot? Murali, our problem is we have to work on all levels. If we only
hmm.
work on the foundation, you don't know if in 5 years, 7 years, 10 years you will get a result.
result हाँ
We have to work across the board to get Indian football better and stronger. Right? That is what we need to work towards. No, it's not an easy task of saying, ah, bhai, do this and then if we work like let's say like a Japan, like a Germany on development, I don't think we will get there where we think we can get like the others, right?
hmm.
Germany needed, I would say, how much did it take? It took them one generation of footballers, right? 14 years.
Hmm.
2000 we
14
were at
years
the bottom. 2014 we won the World Cup. But after
yeah.
2014, despite all the doing the right things, 2018, 2021, 2022, in Germany didn't do well.
hmm.
2022 4 now suddenly Germany is coming up again, right? So there's always an up and down. My problem is if we focus only on grassroots and say, "Are senior team," just like some people say, "Na, Hiren, are forget the senior national team, only focus on youth teams, only focus on youth teams." You can't do that. You have to focus on all levels. It's like also
Hmm.
India sending these under 18, under 17 boys to Indonesia for these 3 matches.
Hmm.
What could AFF, what could AFF done? Said, "Bhai, I'm 120 nahi hai, players available nahi, I don't send a team." That's your first option.
Hmm.
Second
Hmm.
option, say, you know what? I can pull the younger age batch. Okay, they will lose, but they'll get exposure. I say, okay.
Hmm.
I think it's a good decision. The AFF
Hmm.
takes a lot of wrong decisions, but in this case, I would say, you know what? They've done the best they could in that situation.
sensible decision hmm.
So that's the thing, no? Um, at least as a club should introduce foreign coach at youth level. Vishnu, some of the clubs have had or
Hmm.
have coaches, foreigners, in there. The question is the quality, and also it's not just one coach coming in and doing it. Actually, then you have to say, listen, I'm a whole system as foreign coaches, right?
Hmm.
Which stand are you in for today's game? Oh, Rushabh, that's a good question. I am going to get a ticket from Mumbai City. So, yeah, actually, rather ask my ex club where they are allowing me to go today. So, I honestly don't know. I'll go to the stadium and then I'll get to know where I'm sitting or standing, wherever it is.
but I think Mumbai football arena is not that big so I think maybe it's easy to
No, if I'm
get
in the
in
VVIP stand, then to mera
hmm.
we're I'm not. I don't know if I'm there or if I can, go towards the West Coast Brigade. I'm not sure. So
Hmm.
therefore, I don't know where I am. So I'll just go to the
Hmm.
stadium a little later and then enjoy. Yeah, in about an hour I'll be there. So hopefully I'll be able to enjoy the football. Late Rahim Saab, as I suppose, didn't have any so-called pro license, but how could he manage the Indian team successfully in the international field? Knows to myself. Again, this is history,
Hmm.
and I wasn't alive at the time. You weren't alive. All of us weren't alive at the time. My first logic is that most of Asia did not play football at the time. So that is one reality that we have to take into account. That most of Asia did not play football. A lot of these countries didn't even have national teams, right? So
Hmm.
therefore, India was better than India was amongst the top Asian nations in the 50s with Myanmar or Burma at the time, right? These were top teams
Hmm.
in Asian football. So therefore, that is one. And secondly, yeah, who knows? Again, India wrong decision didn't play the World Cup, and the rest, as I say, is always history. and 1950, and that mistake, in my opinion, is the key of why we have not achieved anything more. That's something which I think and believe.
Hmm.
It will be interesting if you do interview with India coach. Yeah, Murali, it would be very interesting, but I don't think Manolo Marquez will come to my or even to Hiren's channel to speak about things. Uh, Clubs 5 crore के प्लेयर्स लेट हैं, 5 crore के कोच नहीं, कोई की रिजल्ट इंस्टेंट नहीं मिलता, और बच्चों को तो अच्छा कोच ही नहीं मिलता. Hiren,
That's
it's a
true, sir.
problem,
But
no?
by the way, no, but I think if you are investing on a mediocre Indian player with the 2-3 crores, rather than if you invest just one, I am not saying ki you invest all of that top teams, your first team's money to youth football. Just one player money you are giving it that 2-3 crore salary to your youth team or on your youth coach. I think it would have been produce a better result in past 10 years.
I agree. I agree. Do you think difference in China and India is the government entities? China has vision, but India nothing.
This is a
It's
much broader question.
it's not so easy of saying, oh, there are this there again. China has understood that sports is a soft power, which I think India slowly is understanding, but football doesn't fall in their priorities, right? People are someone is speaking to me the other day in Delhi, explaining to me how cricket is going to grow in Europe because now you have the European T20 and Abhishek Bachchan is attached to it.
Hmm.
Where I tried to explain to him, I said, "Bhai,
They are on their own la la land. In cricket fans, they are their own la la land. They are
अरे
believing that cricket will be the
उसका 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 लाला लैंड तो इज अ नेक्स्ट लेवल.
next
वो तो लाला 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 लैंड हो गया ना.
level.
Japanese coach chahiye, they did good, give good technical knowledge and discipline also. Ritik, nationality doesn't matter,
Matter,
knowledge
हाँ.
matters. Ah,
Hmm.
it
कोई
could
भी
be
कंट्री का हो.
Japanese, it could be South Korean, it could be German, English, Spanish, Portuguese, French, Italian. It doesn't matter. A good coach is a good coach, and nationality to me doesn't matter, right? It's like when you talk about players, who would have thought in Kusanov a player would end up at
City.
Manchester City, right? So and your point, because at Sir Rahim time, teams don't use dual citizenship players. Ritik, those teams did not even play. Southeast Asia did not play much of football.
Hmm.
Japan wasn't around. Korea wasn't around. They started in the 60s. The Koreans, the Japanese in the 70s they started playing football. Forget the Middle East didn't exist. That is the biggest problem.
Hmm.
Is sir, what do you think AFF's immediate goal should be? Oh,
एंड
yeah,
सेंट्रल
good.
एशिया सर एक था ना रसिया ही था ना सेंट्रल एशिया.
तो Central Asia didn't exist, na? They were part of Europe,
हाँ.
na? Soviet Union.
यूरोप. हाँ. हाँ.
So all of these things are there. Um, AFF priority, I think, is to set the, need to be the house in order.
Hmm.
That is to me very very clear. If you don't set your house in order, I think it's very very difficult to achieve anything. And that to me is the biggest struggle, I think, of the AFF, that the AFF is unable to put its house in order. If you don't put your house in order, कैसे तुम्हारा चलेगा घर ना?
Hmm.
That is to me, or I don't know, Hiren, what do you think? I mean, to me, that is the biggest problem. If you look at what is happening, and if not, yeah, it's very very difficult because the AFF, suddenly now this whole talk about rebellion and removing of Kalyan Chaube and all that kind of stuff, very difficult, very tricky to say something. So therefore, to me, AFF, if you ask me, immediate goal, then that immediate goal, in my opinion, has to be that they set their house in order. Government priority is Olympics and cricket. Ritik, I wouldn't even say Olympics. Their priority is cricket, and then after a long while comes Olympic sports. That I think is a challenge, and therefore we'll have to wait and see. So for me, yeah, it's looks very 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 difficult, to predict which way things could, would, should go. I think that's a big big if and big but and a big challenge of if Olympic sports is a challenge in itself. So let's see if the government does what is needed to rectify things, that they understand that what they need to do to rectify things, otherwise nahi hoga. right? We talk about a lot of these things, but they will not happen. I mean, Olympics is a nice thing to talk about and all that stuff, but if you, again, are you working? I mean, I've been traveling around India talking about a sport like handball, which is one of the biggest team sports in Olympics, and you then realize that the government has so far not thought about the sport. So there you see directly an embarrassment coming on India, that in that sport you will not deliver, right? And there are multiple of these sports that they are, and but in the worst case scenario, by 2036, cricket might already be out of the Olympics again. They're coming in 2028. They will play in 2032, but it would be a I mean, it would be irony, but I, as a football fan, as an Indian fan, I would be very happy if cricket is not an Olympic sports in 2036. I'll be very, very honest. Too hard, Hiren? Or TK?
Too hard. Before the making the debut in the Olympic, you crushed the dreams of cricket
No,
fans.
no, but that is, that happens, right? I mean, it's that
Yeah,
the
yeah, it's a
sports come and
possibility.
sports go.
Absolutely.
Sports
Mm-hmm.
come and sports go in the Olympics, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
who
yeah.
would have thought that with break dancing you could, be in the Olympics? I mean, here
The
maybe even a
Olympics.
chance for you and me to go to the Olympics next time around, huh? Like that Australian
Yeah.
woman.
Yes, yes, yes.
Chennai hopes still alive or finished? Arnav, if you ask
Finish.
me, I think it's khatam. Tada, bye bye.
Khatam. Bye-bye.
Hmm?
Yeah, yeah. No chance for comeback.
Rushabh says to Ritik, cricket is run independently. Government has no involvement. If any priority is other way around, a brilliant president brought this stupid vision to align it with central government ones. Yeah, that's the problem. India hosting Olympics as such sports is not priority by our political leaders. Unbelievable. Only it, but that hosting angle is something, na, with which they want to prioritize. No, ऐसे बोल के, oh, Olympics, we're hosting, we're doing this. And in India, some people have spoken to me like India's already decided, it is decided that 2036 ho raha hai. And then I said, guys, just be very, very clear. 2036, if I understand it right, there are multiple nations willing to bid, right? We have to understand that there is a bidding process, a bidding system where Indonesia could be bidding, Qatar could be bidding, Turkey could be bidding, Mexico could be bidding, even Germany could be bidding, right? So therefore, to me, that is something, a reality which nobody's, So let's see. India is now pushing Kho, but our political leaders need to understand that only global sports events is Olympics and football. To
Priorities
me,
again.
very, very right. And I think there was a big television anchor who said the other day that, we should even push back cricket and prioritize indigenous sports like Kho. I mean, it's so, with all respect, because the guys who set up the Kho League are friends of mine, and I have a huge respect for those guys. But I forget even the Olympics. The only global sport is football. Only global sport, right? We speak about a lot of Olympic sports every 4 years, be it Winter Olympics, be it Summer Olympics. India to Winter Olympics के बाद ही भी नहीं होता है ना. So
नहीं
therefore,
होता, नहीं
every
होता.
every 4 years, that's a conversation. And I said that the other day to a friend of mine who was an Olympic athlete. I said, listen, your sport is only discussed whenever it comes around every 4 years. And it is something, again, I think Manu Bhaskar was the one who was complaining the other day when I said, listen, you are getting, as an Indian athlete, much, much more respect. If you were a shooter in some other country which has XYZ number of medals, nobody would even bother about you.
No one, exactly.
So वो ही तो है ना. We also, our athletes are, creating this weird thing, and it's in at the end of the day, Hiren, it's all about money.
Money,
It's
true.
not about class. It's not about quality. It's all about money, and it's not taking us anywhere, na.
Worlds run on the money. So either it's a hard way, or you can say ki software. You have to accept it. Simple as that, and you have to consider that angle in any field. I would say you
I mean,
can't. You can say कि भाई इस इसमें पैसा का वो नहीं है. You have to
ex-
consider it. That,
exactly,
that has a huge role.
exactly, Hiren. Hosting Olympic is throwing all our money in the river. Yeah, Rushabh. Sadly, I have to agree on that. No, being top 10 countries in the medal selling Olympics it has more possibility than our football team rank in sub 90th. Tobo, you don't understand also that football is an Olympic sport.
Mm.
Under 23. So therefore, from my perspective, I always say is that, and this is one something which is not happening. Team sports are not being promoted. Hockey has been so successful and has been promoted because a certain Mr. Naveen Patnaik created first the infrastructure and then enabled the coaching.
Hmm.
Let's be honest. Let's give the guy the credit. And that is the challenge. No? That is the challenge. During development process, only when big tournament, rest of the time our team has been neglected. Even I remember they don't travel in reservation coach. Murali, yeah, there are again, as you say, there are a lot of these issues which are there, persisting, pertaining. Our priorities are wrong, right? And that is something. Again, it's like look at the priorities. I feel good example. How much was talked about the Santosh Trophy? Huh?
Hmm.
Santosh Trophy in its current avatar is an amateur state level tournament.
Hmm.
Bas, khatam. If I say that tomorrow evening, Kolkata mein, people give me gali for that. Are we won the Santosh Trophy. You know? Hi Shamal, welcome back. Do you think another problem money spent in wrong side despite having resources?
Yes,
100%.
that. Yes.
100%, eh, then?
Absolutely. Yes, yes. I think whatever money, either it in sport, in football or any other Indian sport other than cricket, I think whatever money put it in, I think is not utilized 100%, or you can say कि जो उनसे outcome आना चाहिए वो नहीं आ रहा है क्योंकि because they are investing on the जैसे सर ने एग्जांपल दिया कि no doubt संतोष ट्रॉफी is your historical tournament and everything, but your priorities at the moment are different, so you should be prioritize those things. And इसको आप यहाँ पे definitely मैं नहीं बोल रहा कि बंद कर दो और वो कर दो, but you can held it in a, you can say कि much lower budget, and you should be prioritizing your most important things first, कि भाई उसके ऊपर हम कैसे उनका बजट कहाँ से हम यहाँ पे अरेंज करें और उसको किस तरह से हम ऑर्गेनाइज करें ताकि फुटबॉल में हम कुछ यहाँ पे डेवलप कर पाए, वो प्रायोरिटी होनी चाहिए। सो डेफिनेटली भाई जो रिसोर्सेज जो भी पैसा, जैसे मैं एक बंदे से भी एआईएफएफ में सर बात कर रहा था, इज सेइंग ओनली 100 करोड़ बजट से क्या होगा एआईएफएफ का, मतलब उससे आपका फुटबॉल कोई
Hmm.
डेवलपमेंट नहीं हो जाएगा। बट द क्वेश्चन इज कि आपको 100 करोड़ को भी क्या सही जगह पे डाल रहे हो क्या?
Hmm.
इज सेइंग 500 करोड़ बजट होगा तब कुछ कर पाएंगे हम।
See, to me, it's not about budget. I also told people it's not about infrastructure. There was this story today that Inter Kashi and an academy in Bengal wanted to play under 17 yesterday, and the match commissioner didn't allow it because the pitch was supposedly
हाँ,
not good enough. तो
गुड
मैं
इनफ,
बोलता हूँ भाई
हाँ।
pitch is good enough if the two teams agree to play,
प्ले, उन्होंने
play.
स्टेटमेंट जारी किया है इंटर काशी ने
हाँ,
कि वी वांट
and
बोथ द टीम वांट टू प्ले।
I totally agree with Inter Kashi on that one. No,
हम्म।
India needs
वी
to
हैव,
host.
आई थिंक
Sorry,
सर
हाँ
वो
बोलो.
अंडर 17 वो वर्ल्ड कप ही था जिसमें वो कोई अफ्रीकन कंट्री का कोच था, घाना का, किसने बोला था कि जो इंडिया में अभी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है ऐसा हमारे वहां पे तो है भी नहीं। आई डोंट रिमेम्बर द कोच, कौन सी नहीं अफ्रीकन कंट्री का ही अंडर 17 जब वर्ल्ड कप हमारे यहाँ पे हुआ
Mali,
2017 में।
Mali, I
माली,
think.
माली। हाँ।
So reality तो है हिरेन ना. It's
हम्म।
we can speak about it, we can sugarcoat it ऐसे करके वैसे करके बोल के, but the realities are not like it's a
हम्म।
problem. India, Ritik says India needs to host AFC level or FIFA level tournament, then only कुछ काम होगा इंडिया में. FIFA U17 इंडिया वर्ल्ड कप के बाद हमारा प्लेयर का क्वालिटी डिक्रीज ही हुआ है. Ritik, that's true, but the problem is not the tournament. I think that the problem has been that the government has reduced its spending on the support of the AIFF and Indian football. The
हम्म।
government, one has to give credit to the central government and to certain state governments who were involved in the under 17 World Cup, men's and women's, that they
हम्म।
spend a lot of money not only on infrastructure but enabling exposure. Not to forget
हम्म।
AFC Women's Champions, AFC Women's Asian Cup as
एशियन
well.
कप या।
So therefore, these things have happened. These things have helped. But where are we? How are we? कैसे चल रहे हैं? क्यों चल रहे हैं? It's a question, right? It's the whole question of like how are they appointing coaches? So that
हम्म।
is, it's a crazy one. That's a crazy one.
हम्म।
कुछ कंट्रीज में तो ओडिशा में जो फुटबॉल इंफ्रा है उतना भी नहीं है. एग्जाम्पल अफ्रीकन कंट्री बट स्टिल दे मेक इट.
हम्म,
ऋतिक,
हम्म।
100%, 100%. Forget even Africa. I think some of the South American countries who qualify for the World Cup on a regular basis. Think about countries at war: Syria,
हम्म।
Lebanon, Palestine. Huh? Look at
हम्म।
Afghanistan. There are a lot of countries, right? And we are spending a lot of money. It is, to me, even in bad infrastructure, if you have the right coach, you know, you're going to get
आई थिंक
something
दो
out of it.
नहीं,
We are
दो
spoiled.
चीजें.
We spoil the youth as well, Hiren.
एग्जैक्टली, दो चीजें मेरे को लगता है कि जो ये सारे एग्जांपल हमें सिखाती है वो ये है कि एक तो अच्छे कोचिस का होना, एंड दूसरा प्लेयरों में वो डिजायर होना कि आई हैव टू प्रूव माई सेल्फ. एंड वही आप देखिए, अफ्रीकन प्लेयर हो, अफगानिस्तान के प्लेयर हो, चाहे कोई भी कंट्री के, आपने जैसे जो एग्जांपल दिए, उन प्लेयरों में वो हंगरनेस दिखती है. एंड जैसे आपने बोला कि स्पॉइल कर दिया है, वो हमारे प्लेयरों को भी कर दिया है, पूरे सिस्टम को ही कर दिया है, whoever involves in it. सो वो जो अपना काम है वो उस हिसाब से नहीं दे पाता फिर. एंड जो कुछ अच्छे लोग हैं 5% जो करना चाहते हैं, उनको फिर वो यहाँ पे उस वे में आगे नहीं बनना देना चाहती, या फिर उस पोजीशन पे नहीं देते कि जिससे वो इम्पैक्ट डाल पाए ज्यादा. सो
That's the challenge, Shirin. That's the huge challenge at the moment with sports. And Tobo says, sir, the other sports are not generating money at the moment. Tobo, even football is not generating enough money,
doesn't
no?
make money. Yeah.
So outside of cricket, no sports is generating money. No, that's the whole topic of discussion on all of this. 46 minutes. Those of you
Hmm.
who have joined into our discussion, yeah, please like, share, and subscribe as well. Tagged Hiren, of course, also in the title. So if you have not been following or do not follow Hiren's channel, please do follow the channel, because Hiren does a lot of stuff. Again, I'm sorry that I haven't done that much over the last week because, as you know, I've been traveling quite a bit, and therefore, yeah, all the support. Did do something earlier this week about my visit to the um, and Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium day before, match before. Was interesting to see a lot of things. Speak about that, and earlier, of course, ISL league race, AIFF crisis, jo hai. Look at those things as well. And as always, thank you very very much. Do you think countries which performs good in Olympics has good development system, but for us finding playground is difficult? Only few available in countries. Certain game required in entry fees. Murali, you're talking about um, metros, big cities. My
Hmm.
experience has been that in rural India, let's say in a lot of parts of rural India, there is some sort of access to a ground. How good or how bad is a different discussion.
Hmm.
But the point is, to me, how good a country does or doesn't is not doesn't depend on the good system or good development or good coaching or whatever. Again, some countries have, it's all about the individual. Huh? Kenya is like in long distance running. Jamaica is in
Hmm.
sprints. They're very very strong, right? So there are countries. I mean, would we know Brazil without its football or Argentina without its football? I don't. There are countries, right, who are known for a
Hmm.
specific sport. So therefore, from that perspective, I think the good development or having a good development system doesn't mean that you will be successful. I tell you, for example, the Qataris have been
I,
spending a lot in
I,
football with Aspire Academy. Ye wo hai, but
hmm.
Is Qatar, yes, is twice Asian champion, so they're amongst the best in Asia. But
I
World
think by
Cup, they
this,
played what? Yeah,
हाँ,
did what?
and this time अंडर 17 में भी वो कतार आई थिंक क्वालिफाई नहीं कर पाया है एशियन कप में.
Hmm.
सर मैं जानना चाहता हूँ आपका पर्सपेक्टिव, इज यू आर लिविंग इन जर्मनी. सो जैसे इंडिया में जैसे फुटबॉल की बात होती है, ओलंपिक स्पोर्ट्स की बात होती है कि वी नीड टू फोकस ऑन दिस स्पोर्ट्स आल्सो बिकॉज क्रिकेट इज अवर फेस. जैसे आपने बताया कि ब्राजील में फुटबॉल या फिर अर्जेंटीना में फुटबॉल इज द बिगेस्ट स्पोर्ट. सो व्हाट आर द डिस्कशन हैपनिंग इन मे बी इन जर्मनी? अगर आपके वहाँ पे स्पोर्ट्स की बात होती है तो फैंस या फिर ओवरऑल डिस्कशन क्या है कि भाई ये स्पोर्ट में हमें अच्छा करना चाहिए, कौन सा ऐसा? जैसे आप फुटबॉल में तो आप है ही है, देयर आर कपल ऑफ अदर स्पोर्ट्स in which Germany also doing great. But overall sports का discussion क्या होता है जर्मनी में?
See, Germany, the situation in that way is similar to India, where you say 1 to 100 is football, and then maybe
हाँ.
comes handball, then maybe comes basketball, then comes ice hockey. Like, see, basketball, Germany won the World Cup in
हम्म.
2023. did well in
Hmm.
the Olympics. In handball, they're not doing too well. They lost to Portugal the other night in the World Cup in the quarterfinals. Ice hockey, of course, Germany has the best ice hockey player in the NHL at the moment in Leon
Hockey
Draisaitl. But
maybe.
hockey में तो, but hockey nobody cares. Let's be honest about that. So therefore, yeah, so therefore, from that perspective, it is like it is, and therefore, Olympic sports also. There's a lot of athletes, especially swimmers, athletics, who come around and say, "Arey bhai, hum to every 4 years you give us a little bit of focus." But that's the reality. If you're an Olympic
Hmm.
sport, you're not a big sport. You will not get the focus. You will only get the focus at big events, let's
Hmm.
say the Olympics or let's say the World Athletic Championships or something of the sort.
Javelin,
That
you
is
have
the
a
reality.
good players. Javelin throw.
Hmm. So, but who cares about javelin Germany? Nobody does. If Ranjit Singh takes Indian football as coach, you think it will be interesting task? Morally, surely it will be interesting, but I can't tell you if I would love Ranjit to take up a role within the AFF system as not maybe as senior coach, maybe as a junior coach, but would he be
Hmm.
successful or not? I don't know because the talent base is missing. Ranjit is
Hmm.
highly talented as a coach, but I don't doubt his coaching talent, but I doubt the talent that he has at his disposal and the time because his time is limited as a coach, as a national
Hmm.
coach. No, that's his reality. Though I don't understand much Hindi, but I hope both India and my country, Bhutan, have great success in football. Thank you. Sorry, I can't. If that is Bhutanese or Chinese, I can't read it, but
Hmm.
thank you very much. And again, thank you. And whoever is watching, wherever you're watching. Do you think infrastructure is hard thing in Indian football? I find we are better compared to South America. Yes, Murali. I've said that our
Hmm.
infrastructure is better than a large parts of the country. Infrastructure is not a problem. Our problem is coaching, competitions, grassroots, youth, scouting,
Hmm.
referees. Yeah, those are bigger problems. Owen Coyle and Robin Singh at it again. It was embarrassing to see. Yeah, embarrassing is yeah is understating it, right?
Hmm.
And you're saying although I can understand Owen is frustrated
What
with the
will be the
wrong and
punishment,
faulty.
sir?
Huh?
What will be the punishment for Owen Coyle from the
I don't
competition side, league competition?
see Hiren. To me, Owen Coyle, Zaragoza in the past, Quadrat, even Oscar with certain statement, East Bengal with that press conference, Punjab FC with that letter. I think they should have taken all to task, right? And I don't
Hmm.
agree. Mayank, I cannot understand Owen is frustrated with the wrong and faulty decision of referees all season, but that was not the correct way. What wrong decisions?
Hmm.
Where are the wrong decisions? Right? Where are the wrong decisions? Start with that. Understand the rules of football. And Owen Cole bloody doesn't understand the rules of football. I'm not going to use the language that I would like to use. Right? We're talking about someone who's been a Premier League coach. He doesn't have himself under control. If you talk that way, throw him out of the league. Send him back on the next plane. He doesn't deserve to be there. And you're trying to be understanding of his. Well, what are the refereeing mistakes? Most of the mistakes that the clubs are talking about are not refereeing mistakes. It is the mistake of these people who don't understand football. Part Jindal the other day said, "Oh, Jovanovic, that wasn't a red card, right? That changed the complexion of the game against Udishasi, right? It went to disciplinary committee. Even the disciplinary committee said, "Oh, bhai, red card stays." It puts a question on that. That is what needs to be said. If you don't want to be here, I've said that also in the case of Saragossa. If you don't want to be in India, please go wherever you want to go. No one is forcing you to be here, right? You are not a slave. You are not nothing. Go wherever you want in the world and coach if you think that you deserve to be here and there. What have you delivered for Indian football? You've taken the best young Indian talent into your team. Who have you really, okay, Irfan
Hmm.
Yadwad, I give you credit for that. But the rest, that should be your job. I'm again sorry. Sir, in African countries, sports is the best way out of poverty. So every young child plays something or the other. They also have many sports persons to look up to. Togo, shouldn't that be the same case in India?
Hmm.
Poverty is a huge problem. You know, Mano hinted that if we AFF keep on going with the current speed and mismanagement, there will be a vision 2047 as we won't achieve anything with this vision 2047. What is the vision 2047? Just, just again, if you want to do it that way, right? You have to not just say, "Arey, I want to achieve this in this year or that year." You should be saying, "How do I get there?" No, Hiren?
Yes, absolutely. I think
My roadmaps and all are very nice,
hmm,
So
एग्जीक्यूशन ही
yeah,
सर मैटर करता है ना। आप कितना भी रोड मैप बना लो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? इससे तो कितने बन
exactly.
गए।
So to
विथाउट
me,
एग्जीक्यूशन क्या है?
that is the point to me, which is very, very important that we need to work on is from an Indian football perspective. Um, are we doing the right things to be more successful down the road? And we're not, right? And I say this sadly. I would rather say, this is going right,
Hmm.
this is being done well. We rather would, Hiren also would love to speak about those things, but those realities don't exist, you know?
Hmm.
Do you think another problem in India is parents looking good financial career in sports? What about other parts of the world? Murali, sports is always a risk.
Hmm.
You could get injured. A coach might not pick you for whatever reasons, right? So if you're doing
रिस्क तो
sports,
हाँ।
you have to have a plan B. That is on you
हम्म,
if you have a plan A. A lot of players have only a plan A around the world, and then when they don't succeed, problem ho jata. Sorry, Hiren, हाँ
हम्म।
बोलो.
नहीं नहीं, आई थिंक रिस्क तो सभी में है। ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ स्पोर्ट में और पर्टिकुलर कुछ फील्ड है तो उसमें ज्यादा है, बिकॉज बिकॉज ऑफ दैट। बट डेफिनेटली आप कोई भी भाई चीज कर रहे हो, रिस्क तो है ही। इट डजंट कि आप यहाँ पे भी सक्सेसफुल होंगे ही होंगे।
That's the thing, no?
एंड
That
जैसे सर ने बोला
that
कि
is the
अगर आपके पास
challenge.
प्लान बी है, सो देन यू कैन से कि सर्वाइवल, कि आप चलो सर्वाइव तो कर सकते हो। ऐसा नहीं होगा कि भाई ये आपने प्लान ये वर्क नहीं किया तो बिल्कुल, जैसे सर ने बोला कि देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ स्टोरीज वी हर्ड अबाउट द एथलीट्स इन डिफरेंट स्पोर्ट्स की, जो भाई चीजें फिर कंप्लीटली उनके लिए वो डाउनवर्ड्स चली जाती है।
Hmm. So that's a reality, and if I like it or not, it's something which is there, right? So,
हम्म,
um, you know, out of context question, do you think cricket is fading worldwide due to BCCI and IPL politics? Shavi, I have no clue. Sorry, I don't watch
हम्म,
cricket enough to be able to tell you that. And let's focus on football rather than cricket. Abhishek says, "Hi guys, your faces are small and side. Can you put it in center?" Okay, if you want it, let's do it like this.
हम्म।
My face could have been small. I should have made Hiren's face bigger, but ठीक है, तो होता ही है, तो how good are South American Olympics despite the system? Is individual brilliance or something else? Murali, there are sports where Brazil is good, Argentina is good,
हम्म,
or Uruguay is good. Again, you guys like a lot of generalization. Again, for that, I don't follow their sports as much that I can say that we know about football and let's stick to that. Manolo also said that when he go and see the U13, U15 of FC Go, he sees some talented players who are at par with the U13, 15 players he saw in Spain. Although what these players do when they reach U18, Mank, I don't know what he's watched or if he was drinking something or the other to compare U13, U15 in India with in Spain. I mean, I saw in Malaga recently under 15 in Spain, and I've never seen such level of football in India. I don't know what Manolo saw, or maybe Manolo saw some kids playing on the beach, but maybe that is the level we
मैं
have.
हाँ,
I don't
मैं
know.
सर अभी बारसा की वो अंडर 9 टीम का मैच देख रहा था। एंड इफ यू सी देयर प्लेयर्स, आई मीन एट एट एज ऑफ 9, उनकी जो आप डिसीजन मेकिंग, उनका जो क्वालिटी है वो देखेंगे, यू विल बी शॉक्ड। एंड नॉट ओनली बारसा, उनके सामने जो टीम खेल रही थी, बाकी जो सेल्टिक और उन सब की अंडर 9 टीम्स, मतलब आप बोलोगे कि भाई कहाँ पे हम है, हमारा फुटबॉल और इनका फुटबॉल कितना डिफरेंस है।
The problem is, if you look at standards, I remember we used to hold an under 11, under 9 tournament in Remscheid, and I saw the under 9s from Man City. Hmm.
हम्म,
And they were recording their matches, and post matches on the iPad, the coach was explaining what was going right. Was I mean, for me that was overcoaching. But you
हम्म,
saw a system. I saw then also Besiktas Istanbul with under 11s, where their team doctor of the first team has traveled with the boys to take care of the boys. Right?
बॉयज।
So this is a different level. This is a different level. So, But was that an actual red card if VR would have been there? Absolutely not. It was more of an Oscar acting from Trincic. Yeah, VR, I don't think would have stepped in because it's not a mistake. So, first of all, understand for what VR stands, guys. Right? And VR has a huge problem in Europe. As I tweeted a few days ago, Norway has already removed it. The Premier League discussed last summer to remove VR. In Germany, there is the same, there are too many basic mistakes happening with VR. While you think that VR will be the savior of mistakes of referees of Indian football. Seriously,
Hmm.
guys, just think for 1 second. Think the problem only shifts to another area. We'll discuss the same problems with some other issues then. Are why didn't he
Hmm.
see it? Right? Or calibrated line wasn't working. I mean, the other day, Leipzig scored a goal in Bochum because the calibrated line wasn't working, and you could see without the line that the foot was offside. So, kya bolu?
Hmm.
VR will not be the savior of Indian football. If someone wants that, please, there. If you want savior of Indian football, do the proper work across all levels. Referees are not our biggest problems. The referee are as good or as bad as Indian football is. Sorry, that is the reality. मैं सुना था चांगते को चांस मिला था यूरोप में खेलने का बट उसने डिक्लाइन कर दिया ड्यू टू लो वेजेस या ऋतिक आई हैड ऑर्गेनाइज्ड something in Norway for Mr. Changte and the wages in the ISL were higher. Yeah, reality. क्या
आज आज
बोलूं?
आज आज पूछोगे आप उनसे कि अगेन डू यू वांट टू गो टू यूरोप?
No, see, I will talk to him. Why? If he is interested, he knows I can help. I would help. If he wants to, he'll speak to me. I will. Why would I proactively go to an Indian footballer and say, "Bhai, bahar khelne chahte ho?" No, I would not. I don't will not ask an Indian footballer if you want to go abroad. Hiren, I've done that. If I've done that, most of the players over the years have said no, they don't want to. Take it. Again, we talked today about overpaid players. The same thing was the case in the I League 15 years ago,
Hmm.
right? So that's a reality. Sir, education is the preferred route here. Sports is not given the same value for many as you're not good. Academic sports is the second choice. Yeah,
Hmm.
I agree. And I think that sports needs to be given that importance in the
हम्म,
Indian educational system.
सोसाइटी
That
में वो
needs to
नहीं है
change.
एक्सेप्टेंस.
And that is, you're spot on. It's a huge problem, in my opinion, in India because in India, it is education, education, education. Become a lawyer, become a doctor, become an engineer, IT wala kar do. And to me, that is something which, yeah, which I feel is not right because sports should be an option. Many red cards have been turned to yellow by AIFF. No, not many, Mayank, two.
टू
Again,
आई थिंक
also of
यहाँ
exaggeration. And in my opinion, both of those red cards could have stood, which is an indication that some decisions made by referees were wrong. No, shows you that maybe the disciplinary committee also doesn't know the rules of football. Welcome to the club. Although some of these have been over exaggerated by teams, coaches, and fans. You know, they've
देखिए
been all
वो
over exaggeration. I am fed up of this.
इसमें सिंपल सी चीज है कि जिस क्लब का फैन बेस बड़ा है उसका आपको ज्यादा सोशल मीडिया पे वो दिखेगा रोना कि भाई ये डिसीजन हमारे अगेंस्ट गया. अभी देखिए जैसे छोटे क्लब में मान लीजिए कि हैदराबाद के अगेंस्ट कोई डिसीजन गया है या फिर पंजाब के अगेंस्ट गया है तो उसका उतना आपको सोशल मीडिया पे वो नहीं दिखेगा कि भाई व्हाई डिड दिस पेनल्टी नो नॉट गिवन. फिर आप मुंबई सिटी का देख लीजिए, देयर आर कपल ऑफ डिसीजन जो उनके अगेंस्ट गए हैं, बट वो आपको ज्यादा सोशल मीडिया पे फैंस की ओर से नहीं दिखेगा बिकॉज ऑफ द फैन बेस कि भाई उनका उतना नहीं है, फैन बेस ज्यादा सोशल मीडिया पे नहीं है. सो दीस आर द थिंग्स हैपनिंग.
Hmm. I'm a class 11 biology student and I had Indian football fan from Uttar Pradesh and is saying here in Uttar Pradesh they're actually dedicated players who are actually good in scoring. Good to hear, gaming warriors. But my problem is that when I see grassroots players across the level, I don't see anyone where I'd say, you know what, this could be someone who can take Indian football to the next level. You know, so not much to add. ईशान पंडितन ने भी तो स्पेन एकेडमी में ट्रेन लिया था बट ही स्टिल स्ट्रगलिंग व्हाई योर ओपिनियन ऋतिक बिकॉज ही वाज देयर फॉर अ शॉर्ट टाइम he didn't start at 5, 6, 7 to play in Spain. He was
And
there
people
3, 4 years. And
एग्जैक्टली एंड पीपल नीड्स टू अंडरस्टैंड कि इट्स नॉट लाइक कि भाई आप यहाँ पे 5 प्लेयर आपके यूरोप में खेल रहे हैं सो दे ऑल विल बी द दैट काइंड ऑफ प्लेयर्स बिकॉज इट्स अ ट्राई एंड एरर. इफ यू आर 500 योर लॉट बिगर पूल ऑफ प्लेयर्स प्लेइंग देन यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट कि भाई उसमें से कुछ यहाँ पे वर्ल्ड क्लास प्लेयर निकलेंगे. आप देखिए एवरी कंट्री डजंट हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ टैलेंट लेवल. सो बेसिक एटलीस्ट जैसे आप सर ने बताया कि ही इज नॉट देयर फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम बट अगर वो वहां की सिस्टम में डेवलप हुआ होता तो एटलीस्ट उसका बेसिक जो है वो यहाँ पे एटलीस्ट सॉर्ट आउट होता कंपेयर टू अदर प्लेयर्स. एंड डेफिनेटली जिस एज पे भी आप किस एज पे जाते हो वो भी मैटर करता है, बिकॉज इन एट द एज ऑफ यू कैन से 20 और 22 यू कांट लर्न द बेसिक फ्रॉम द यू कैन से स्क्रैच. और आप अगर सीखना भी चाहोगे तो भी आप उसको एडॉप्ट नहीं कर पाओगे, बिकॉज योर बॉडी यूज्ड टू इन अ सर्टेन वे. सो यस, देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ चैलेंजेस. तो ऐसा नहीं कि भाई हमारा प्लेयर यहाँ पे यूरोप में गया तो वो बढ़िया प्लेयर ही बन के निकलेगा.
Very right, Hiren, very, very right. Any uncapped players you observed this season who have potential, if consistent to play in national team in future, if not at the moment? Hmm. Mohan Bagan has no young players.
वन बाय वन
Hmm.
लो ना आप टेबल के हिसाब से गोवा में से.
I'm looking forward to see Nathan Rodriguez today.
अच्छा, ओके,
If
इंटरेस्टिंग.
I'm if you ask me, because a lot of people have been pushing Kuru and all that stuff. I don't I Hiren, I've said it a lot. With all respect to the boy, I don't know what his position is and I don't know what he's doing. Anyone else could do that, right? So therefore, he's just there to add. He scored his goal as well. Yes, TK sab kiya, but again, Kuru is not my player.
ब्राइसन.
Which I don't know. Huh?
ब्राइसन.
Bryson is close. So if you ask me, but let's see. He's got a month to go. Bryson needs to convince me in February that he's good enough to do that. And Manolo's team, one or two is, 1-2 injuries, bas khatam, team tada bye bye. Right? So Bryson is only as good because he has Iker, he has Drazic, he has Armando Sadico around him. Don't forget that. Also, McHugh behind him, right? Luna versus Noah, who was right? Mayank, no one is right. No one is right. Because if you behave that way on the field, first of all, Luna is the captain. Don't do it. Luna is the captain. Noah, show him the respect. He's your captain. Right? This is a matter, you can have a disagreement. Have it in the dressing room. Don't do it publicly. You can.
And sir,
And I have seen huge disagreements in dressing rooms over the years.
एंड देयर इज नॉट अ मैच सिचुएशन की जहां पे ऐसा रिएक्शन आपसे आए. यू आर ऑलरेडी 3-1 विनिंग द मैच, लास्ट 15 सेकंड लेफ्ट. सो आई डोंट सी एनी पॉइंट कि आपका इस तरह से यहाँ पे रिएक्शन आना चाहिए था दोनों प्लेयर की
And
ओर से
that is,
ऑब्वियसली.
and Luna first went for him. So my thing is that, Luna, you're captain.
एग्जैक्टली.
You know, so, you know. Hi, Blue. Welcome back. Sir, I want my
आई
little
थिंक सर
brother
वी
to be a
नीड टू रैप अप
striker.
इन 5 minutes.
Yes, 5 minutes because I have to head to the Mumbai Football Arena. Thank you, Hiren, for the reminder. So I want my little brother to be a striker, and he's only 2 years old. So I want him to train from the beginning and build his mentality as a footballer. What should I do as a brother and train him? Gaming Warriors, one thing. Do not say that your brother should be a striker, right?
गिव
You
इन
have
द
to
बॉल
be
जस्ट.
have the open mind that the position should find him. He should not find his position. This is what we say in Germany. So therefore, for me, that is very, very important. If you're gonna, give him the ball, let him play with the ball, kick the ball. Don't. That is what you
पहले
can
तो
do
पहले
now at his age.
हाँ, पहले तो 2 साल का है तो उसको पहले बॉल दो, और उसको अगर पसंद आए उसको अंदर खुद से वो मजा आना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं हो कि भाई आप चीजें उसके ऊपर ज्यादा वो थोपने लगो. लेट हिम
Or he might
गिव द
he might like another sport. If you might
स्पोर्ट.
not
हाँ,
like it, but he
एग्जैक्टली.
might like another sport. So therefore,
एग्जैक्टली.
yeah, that's the reality, no? Huge corruption is going on in Uttarakhand football and the national games, man. I don't know enough about anything of that, so to comment, and I think Hiren as well. We know that there are these kind of problems exist in football and Indian sports. So yeah, very, very sad.
दिस इज द कॉमन थिंग्स.
Hi Pratik, welcome back. Good
गुड इवनिंग.
evening. Today Kashi gave an official statement that AIFF didn't allow them to play for a poor ground quality. Do you have any information? Yeah, Blue. Hiren and I spoke about it a little earlier. I thought, "ठीक hota hai, shouldn't be, but hota hai." And if both the teams agree to say, you know what, we want to play on this pitch, let them play. Right?
Absolutely.
Sports culture is totally missing in India. First of all, develop that, then only we will be good in other sports rather than cricket. Yeah, sports culture is not there, is right, but I think you need to work on that as well, right? So therefore, I mean, yeah, it's difficult, but It has to, U17 प्लेयर को बोलो यूरोप जाने के लिए 25-27 में यूरोप जाके कोई फायदा नहीं है. 17-year-old cannot go. Ritvik, you have to be 18 plus to go to Europe. So that's the first problem. And who will take players? You also have to understand when you say that Europe jana hai, or someone says, "Arey, go to Japan, go to Korea, go to Southeast Asia." Arey, there needs
उसको
to be
लेगा
someone
कौन?
willing to take an Indian player. कौन लेगा? Why? Huh? Hiren, if you were manager of XYZ team in, let's say, Southeast Asia, भाई तुम्हारा option Brazilian, African, European, and
Obviously.
Indian. Indian लोग है.
Obviously.
So that's the reality. Like for us, yes, it would be great, but you have to see it from the other side. How do you see poverty in sports? Because many of them quit their dream and they struggle regarding accommodation. Morally, you don't achieve anything in life without struggles at different levels. So the more you struggle, you value it even more. You see someone, like Sadio Mane, right? A Drogba.
Hmm.
This is the best way. Struggles helps you. Just a question, please don't take it rude. Does our discussion affect Indian football? What's your opinion? Um, First of all, the question is not rude. It's a good question. Again, I think it's good that we're having this conversation, or these conversations. But yeah, the point is, at least I try to get my points across, be it here or be it offline. But the offline conversations are more important. Again, so therefore, that is something I'll see. Yesterday, Bajaj said East Bengal and Delhi FC is affected by biased referee blue. What to say? Nothing to comment. It's a joke. It is really a joke. If that is the way you want to spin things in your favor, to kya bolu? There's nothing to add. East Bengal. I mean, I've said it the other. I've even said it to people who are East Bengal fans, and I will tell them today in the face if they tell me, "Bhai, against Mumbai City a few weeks ago, there were 6 mistakes in the first half, which went against Mumbai City. Against Mumbai City. Even that goal from Vikram was a goal. So what are we talking about? At East Bengal complaining that they won against Blasters because two key decisions went in their favor. I mean, someone tried to explain to me that the Adranduna foul from Chungdunga wasn't a foul. भाई क्या बात कर रहे हो? So these are realities, na? What do you think of Kumar going back to Europe Blues? I said that
Perfect decision.
earlier. I think it's a very good decision by the player because he's not getting a chance. Kamaljit has now come in, so they've got a replacement. But for him, he wasn't ready for ISL football. He wasn't ready for men's football. He should have played another year under 19s. He came for a lot of money, and now he's you know terminated his contract. He's going back, and I hope he trains at least another 2 years over there, and then either makes it in Europe. He can still come back anytime.
आई थिंक यहाँ
So
पर
what
रैप
is
अप करते हैं सर.
it's just one or two questions, Milito. So what's missing in the top academies in the country? They seem to spend quite a lot, but the returns are missing. Quality, Turbo, quality of coaching, exposure, intensity. I don't know what it's a very good question, na? Because I think you have to look at each individual academy and say, why this is missing, that is missing, this is missing, that is missing. So therefore, it's not an easy answer. In my opinion, it's a very, very tough answer to say that academies, why are they struggling? Because they're struggling across the board. That is a huge problem. No. Um, and my next question is last. Are we seeing that ISL coaches are taking easy route by just blaming referees and not taking responsibilities themselves for the poor performances of their teams? Yeah, man, yes.
Yeah, obviously.
It is not just the coaches, it is also, uh, um, as I said, East Bengal, right? Mismanagement. Simple. Owen Coyle has become embarrassing. I think Chennai should be having a conversation, but the officials are saying, oh, you know what, we've been robbed. So everyone seems to think that this is a bandwagon they need to jump on, which will help them. So, yeah. So, therefore, Hiren, thanks a lot for
Always, sir.
coming and joining in. I know I see a lot of other questions, guys. I'll take it in the coming days. Maybe if I come back early after the game, I might do another live. Maybe then we can talk about the game tonight. But normally, yeah, I'm heading now to the Mumbai Football Arena. Looking forward to hopefully an interesting game of football. Hopefully, a lot of nice, good conversations. And as always, as I say, keep on following, supporting Indian football. I was having a conversation with someone yesterday who said, "Are some of you also say that faida kya hai?" Was saying, like, yeah, what is the use? Indian football is so bad and this and everything. I said, yeah, you're right. But I've said, I've been supporting Indian football now very, very closely for the last, you know, 27 years with InfootballCom. It started even earlier when I watched the NFL in 1996, December 96 when it started. And therefore, keep on supporting Indian football. Let's grow the community that where we speak honest truths about football. I think Hiren and I try to do that. Hiren even more at the moment on a regular basis than me. I'll try and do that as well, and we'll try and again, I've got a few interviews lined up, but again, sorry, I'm traveling. I've not been able to do those, and do some more lives as well. But yeah, it's the way it is. I know people ask me also do a vlog and all that stuff. For me, it's a little difficult because I have a lot of conversations, and and then I forget to do that. So whether vlogging mere se nahi hoga. But I'll talk about the experience today, and in general as well. I think Hiren and I will also talk in the coming days about the transfer window, which is about to close. Very
Hmm.
minimal action, actually. As I said at the start, I thought it wouldn't be that busy. A lot of clubs, I know some clubs are actually sort of reluctant to offer contracts, not knowing what is the future of the ISL. So that's another thing.
Exactly. I think that
So
that's
that
the bigger factor to be quite transparent.
no, and um, yeah, and therefore, to me, enjoy Indian football. Watch the match. It's 7:30, less than an hour. Mumbai City Football Club versus East Bengal FC at the Mumbai Football Arena. I will be there, guys. So maybe the one other you more might be watching. Say hi, Hiren. Thank you for joining in,
Yes, sir.
and yeah, follow Curious Harry. I've tagged him in the title as well, and I'll be coming back. Hiren will be coming back talking about Indian football. Thanks and good night.
Good night.